You may be suffering from a fungal overgrowth called Candida and have no idea. A few years ago, this happened to me and I had such a horrible experience with it. I wanted to share with you guys my symptoms, my healing protocol, and if you're not familiar with what Candida is, I'm gonna go over all of that, so make sure you stay tuned. Welcome, my name is Angelica Ventrice. This is my puppy, Tahoe, and I help women heal their guts, heal their minds, and transform their bodies without restrictive diets. Okay, so what the hell is Candida? You might have heard the term thrown around, or maybe you haven't, but basically we all have Candida in our gut, on our skin, in our intestines, and commonly it can overgrow. And when the Candida overgrows in your body, it can cause a slew of symptoms. So if you have any of these symptoms, this could be a sign that you have Candida overgrowth. Let me just backtrack for 1 second here. We all have good bacteria and bad bacteria, right? The good bacteria does contain some fungus. However, if we have a fungal overgrowth, so the Candida overgrows, it's gonna lead to a slew of symptoms. So some of those symptoms are going to be, and these are pretty severe. They were severe for me at least. Okay, leave it. Just loves to lick my lotion. So these are the ones I experienced. So I had severe joint pain, I had headaches, I had nausea, I had digestive issues, like severe bloating. So I was waking up in the morning almost with felt like I had a hangover, like this horrible headache pain behind my eye, but I wasn't drinking alcohol. And it was a nausea, it was a diarrhea, then it was constipation, it was weight gain, belly bloating, sinus infections. You can also have recurring vaginal infections or urinary tract infections. These are some of the signs that you might have a Candida overgrowth. Another big one I had was chronic fatigue. I felt super weak. I was going to the gym, trying to work out, and weights that normally felt, light to me were starting to feel heavy. Walking a mile was hard for me. So just things that normally were pretty easy for me started to feel really difficult. I was also getting chronic sinus infections. Now the thing is, I would go to the doctor for these sinus infections. They would give me an antibiotic and maybe it was cured for like a month, right? But then the sinus infection would come back. And none of these doctors ever said to me, let's take a look at what's going on in your gut. Let's get to the root cause. Make a long story short, I saw a functional medicine doctor who tested me and I came up positive for Candida. The Mayo Clinic did a study and there was about 210 people they tested who had sinus infections, and 96% of them had Candida overgrowth in their system, which Candida overgrowth, which I talked about before, that fungus that overgrows can lead to sinus infections. So what these doctors were doing was putting me on antibiotics, and it wasn't even curing the sinus infection because the sinus infection was actually coming from my Candida. I know that may be shocking to you guys. Those were all of my symptoms. They were horrible. I'm completely healed now. And in the next video, I'm actually gonna be talking about my whole entire healing process and giving you guys some tips how to heal yourself naturally and with supplements. So stick around for that video. How do you get Candida? You might be looking at me, I'm pretty fit, I'm healthy, I think I'm doing everything right, except I keep having these crazy symptoms. Well, what I started to do after I did some research was realize that antibiotics really do damage your good gut bacteria. Even one round of antibiotics is enough to really ruin the level of good bacteria in your gut. When I was growing up, I was overweight and I had severe acne. All these doctors were putting me on various antibiotics to try to get rid of my acne. From a very young age, I think I started these antibiotics when I was maybe 12 is when I started to get acne. So from the time I was 12 till basically the time I was 27, I was on antibiotics. And then I was also on birth control pills for my acne. And then I also had some really traumatic, stressful things happen in my life. So stress changes the biodiversity in your microbiome and it damages the good bacteria and allows for an overgrowth of the Candida, the fungus, and more bad bacteria. Some other things that can give you Candida would be if you're eating a diet that's high in refined carbohydrates, high in sugar. For me, that wasn't really the case. I mean, I like my dark chocolate, I have wine here and there, but if you are a person who eats a lot of sugar, drink a lot of alcohol, you eat a lot of refined carbohydrates, you're highly stressed, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not taking care of your body, you're not eating enough leafy greens with a lot of micronutrients, you can have a fungus overgrowth called Candida. So those were some of the ways that I got it. It was from the overuse of antibiotics throughout my entire lifetime. And every time I went in for a sinus infection, they gave me another antibiotic. It was just making the cycle work. So it wasn't until I actually saw a functional medicine doctor who tested me and we got to the root cause. Another thing that I noticed, you'll notice if you have Candida, you'll almost see, and I know it's kind of gross, but you'll almost, if you look at your poop, you'll see like almost like mucus membranes, like your body is, and I was seeing like my body wasn't even digesting the food, so I could see mushrooms and spinach, like nothing, my body wasn't holding on to nutrients. That's how I knew something was wrong with me. I was getting bags under my eyes too. I don't normally have that. My skin was looking a little yellowy. I'm normally pretty brown and tan. So it's just very, very interesting. You'll notice all these symptoms. You do want to pay attention if you're having these symptoms. Don't just slap a Band-Aid on it. There's something deeper going on, okay? So hope this video was helpful and enlightened you to what Candida actually is about. Tahoe says, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video because I'm going to go over my entire healing process with you, and I will see you guys there. Thanks.